Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the hosts this evening, Michael, followed by other host, Sage.
Hi.
It's Cultured Corner without being cultured, unless your secret topic is cultured.
It's not really cultured.
Okay. Then it's not a cultured corner, but we are still the cultured crew.
Correct. Have you been hearing about HBO's The Idol? So
I have not.
Okay, so it's this. I feel like it got announced maybe like last year, or maybe a little bit ago, and people were kind of hyping it up because it was like The Weeknd's acting debut. You know who The Weeknd is?
Yeah, I know who The Weeknd is. Do I think would be a good actor? Was my face.
Okay, spoiler, he's not.
I can't say that surprises me.
It was also going to be the acting debut for Jennie from Blackpink, which a lot of K-pop stans were really excited about because it's a K-pop idol, but instead of doing like their acting debut in a K-drama, they're getting this like explosive breakout role in an American.
For video users, I forgot my iPad, so I'm going to use my phone to look stuff up. I'm not just ignoring her.
So it was going to be this like explosive breakthrough role for her in acting, and people were excited because it was going to be like a more quote unquote racy American kind of role for her.
Okay.
Because which at the time I thought was interesting because I was like, she's still has to be Jennie the K-pop idol after this show. And you usually want your K-pop idols, or at least this is how like the Korean demographic is. You want them to be pretty squeaky clean.
How old is this person?
Jennie?
Yeah.
Maybe 25, 26.
Okay. She's pretty hot.
Yeah. But anyway,
I needed to make sure.
And Lily Rose Depp, who's obviously Johnny Depp's daughter.
What?
I know, crazy. She was a model for a while, and then she did, I think, some acting here and there. So she's the main lead.
She's not a Amber Heard kid, is she?
No, they never had children together.
Did they not?
No.
I don't know how long they were together. So.
She's too old to be from that relationship.
Oh, okay. I don't know how long they were together.
But anyway, because I think she's about 25,
She's
26.
24.
Okay, I was close. But yeah, so people were kind of like excited for it because The Weeknd was going to be heavily involved in like the production of the show and this, that, the other thing. And based off of his music and the kind of storylines he was doing for his albums, people were excited to see what he would do with a television show. Because I believe, like, at least in the music world, I think he's very creative. He has a really good.
Oh, this is one of the shows that was like canceled fucking immediately.
Yeah, so that's what I'm getting to here.
Okay, I've been seeing kind of a lot of that recently.
What do you mean?
Just like shows being canceled either mid-season or just like
cut off.
Yeah, are they also getting rid of it like entirely?
Well, I can't imagine you're gonna cut off your show and then make a season 2.
No. What I mean is, because there's been a thing recently that people are bringing up as like a problematic, which is that companies have been canceling shows and then just taking them away. Like you can't watch them after they're gone.
Oh.
Like whatever the name of the Grease show was with the girls, the pink ladies, pink jackets, whatever the fuck their name.
Pink ladies.
Yeah, their show got canceled and they're just taking it off streaming.
Was that Peacock or Paramount or something?
I want to say Hulu.
Hulu?
But
Okay, I don't know who. But that seems like a weird choice to.
But they're doing that with like a few things. That, like not just Hulu, but like other companies too. Like they're just like they're canceling them and then removing them.
But that seems weird to scrub it.
It's people are bringing up it as a problem of like, it's just anti-preservation.
Yeah.
Which is weird because people still worked on that and did the effort and put it in regardless if it was bad.
And even if most people don't like it, there's still some people who do like it.
And also just the amount of
time
shit
and
that
money
is there
and
that
effort
is bad that you still have there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But anyway, so.
But this is not one of those.
I don't know if they're going to scrub it, to be completely honest. I mean, they didn't scrub Velma, so we'll see what happens. But Velma is getting a season 2.
Yeah, but it also got a season 2 announcement before it even came out. So
true. But yeah, so people were getting excited. And then I think he's one of the executive producers on Euphoria. This guy named Sam Levin, who everybody hates.
Oh yeah, yes, because I saw some people comparing it to that.
Yeah,
it's
so
like twisted torture porn.
So he got added to the project.
Have you watched Euphoria?
I did not watch Euphoria, no.
I haven't either.
But I've seen like certain things from Euphoria, but I've never watched it in full for like full context, if that makes sense.
I've seen people love it.
I heard people really like season 1. Season 2 kind of faltered, and I don't know if season 3's already happened or not. But anyway, Sam Levin got added to the list of like producers or whatever, and people were kind of upset about it because they don't like Sam Levin as a person or really as a creator. So then episode 1 drops, and I think it didn't even cross 1 million, like the 1 million viewers threshold.
Right.
On its premiere first episode, right? And then when episode 2 dropped, just the absolute plummet in viewership is an oof owie.
I'm like reading the synopsis for this, and it doesn't even seem like it would have been that interesting anyway.
Well, the synopsis seems like it would be interesting, but then it isn't. I've only watched episode 1 because I decided, you know what, fuck it. I'll just let it come out and then I'll watch it all at once.
Like a lot of cult-based things, I'm usually like, nah, that's probably not going to be very interesting.
Well, I
usually don't have much faith in cult-esque stories. There are a lot of good ones, but I'm usually more skeptical about cult-based stories where I'm like, I'll
fair.
watch it, and I'll only watch it if people say it's good.
That's fair, because I feel like a cult is kind of inherently interesting, or at least like when you're seeing how it's being formed, I think is interesting, right? But a lot of people mishandle the cult angle.
So many.
You know what I mean?
That's why I usually wait.
So I watched episode 1, and it was definitely interesting.
I see that there's just a lot of nakedness in this show.
I can't say it was particularly good. The Weeknd, I think, should stick to singing and making music. His performance, I don't know. Because the whole thing is, with his character, he's like the cult leader or whatever, right? And he runs this nightclub, and he's trying to like indoctrinate the main lead. Her name is Jocelyn. She's a pop star. Who cares?
Is that the one that Johnny Depp's daughter plays?
Yes,
or, okay.
yes. Jenny from Blackpink is like one of her backup dancers.
Okay.
In the show, her name is Diane. Anyway, so I think his character is supposed to be dark and seductive and tantalizing and like someone where it seems like you could obviously fall into their traps because they're very like intriguing and charismatic, and you want to be around them just from their innate energy and the way they present themselves and the way they command someone's attention. You know what I mean? I think that's what they were going for, but it's just so creepy and weird, and the delivery is just really flat, and there's no like seduction to it at all, and it feels really weird because I remember at the end of the first episode saying to myself, why would she be interested in him? What is drawing her to him? Because that was not answered in the first episode.
Right.
But within the span of the first episode, they meet and he comes over to her house and they're starting a relationship, or at least a hookup. You know what I mean? So, but why would she invite him to her house? Like, what does she want to get out of it? You know what I mean? Like, those things never got answered. There was no reason for him to be considered appealing in any way.
I was going to say, like, do people consider The Weeknd hot?
I mean, they give him this awful, like, comb back ponytail rat tail wig that looks fucking terrible because most people look bad with a rat tail.
It's true. It's true.
So that, I don't understand the point of that. And then the whole thing with the main lead, Jocelyn, we see her and she's like, the first, I think, full minute of the show is this very tight close-up of her face. And you hear like someone talking, directing her, and they're being like, oh, give me this kind of emotion and give me this kind of facial expression, right? And it's just this one continuous shot of her doing the different emotions, right? Which I was like, okay, interesting. I can see what you're going for here. Kind of awkward, but
Right.
fine. Great. But then it pans out and you see what's going on, and she's doing like a photo shoot for a cover album or whatever, and she's wearing this like little silky red like bathrobe essentially, and then she's like on a bed or a couch or whatever, and then you see like the photographers and the lighting people and then her team, right?
Right.
Because it's being shot in her own house. And then there's this whole thing where like she starts wanting to like show her boobs or whatever, and then people on her team are like, oh, well, actually we're not allowed to show her breasts because of legal issues and blah blah blah. And they're like, but she wants to, and they're like, great, that's fine, but we just have to change it in the contract to make things square. And it's just really weird. And then there's drama with the rest of her team because somebody leaked a photo of her with like cum on her face, and supposedly she was like, prior to this, a very squeaky clean, almost Disney-esque pop star, and she was trying to transition into being more adult and like sexy or whatever. So somebody leaks this photo as she's trying to make this transition onto like Twitter or whatever, but they don't want her to know because supposedly she just went through like a traumatic mental breakdown after her mom passes away. Which, okay, all of this setup done kind of weird and poorly, but I could see it being interesting, right? Where like,
Are these hour-long episodes or 30?
I think they're an hour long,
Okay.
yeah. I could see how it could be interesting. But the problem is, I don't know one single thing about Jocelyn that wasn't told.
Nothing was shown.
Nothing was shown. She doesn't seem to have, like, there's nothing there for her character. And she's so uninteresting. I'm like, you can't have an episode where she has nothing going on and she is the main character.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, her team, everyone on her team is like kind of a piece of shit. But then I don't know if it's supposed to be like, oh, like Hollywood and the industry is so tainted and everyone's wanting to throw, you know, their bullshit at you or whatever. And then like juxtaposing it with this cult leader of like, see, it's really a cult, the Hollywood machine. Like, I don't know what they're going for because, yeah, they show the team being a piece of shit because they kind of have shitty personalities. But ultimately, they're trying to protect her reputation and find out the person who leaked this image because that's just not right morally to do that.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, do they care about her and want to protect her image? Or do they not care about her and just want sales? Like, I'm confused because you're kind of having it both ways
Right.
in the way it's presented. At least that's what I thought. So I was like, what are you going for here? So then the photo shoot ends, whatever, and then she goes to a dance practice and she's like passing out or whatever. Who cares? Diane, who's Jenny from Blackpink, she like spots her, so she's like dancing her part. And apparently she's very good, whatever, who cares? And it's just, I feel like the sexual stuff that they have in it, like, sure, fine. I think it's a bit unnecessary. Like, I felt like they,
Game of Thrones season 1 unnecessary?
yeah, like I felt like they're doing it just because it's on HBO and they can. Like, none of it really furthers the story to show me anything of that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, great, Lily Rose Depp, great body, good for you. Like, you know what I mean?
Wait, so does the Blackpink person also have nudity?
No,
Oh,
or at
okay.
least not. I mean, the show hasn't ended yet, so I don't know. But
Well,
I can't.
It has ended.
I cannot imagine that YG, who's Blackpink's manager, like managing company, would ever agree to even have a little bit, because ultimately she's still primarily an idol,
Right.
based in South Korea.
Even though she's in a show with all of it.
Right. But her character is not as
Right.
exposed, if you will. Which I think they do it kind of smartly in the costuming as well, because they still have her in like small clothes, but conservative enough, quote unquote.
What, like underwear, but like...
I mean, she was wearing like little booty shorts and then like a sports bra with like a little crop tank top on top.
Gotcha.
It's nothing crazy, but for K-pop, it's definitely pushing the envelope. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
Because it's a much more conservative
Yeah.
image.
I just like the Lily Rose Depp. Good body. Good job. All right, anyway, moving on.
Yeah, like I just don't know. I don't feel like certain things just don't feel purposeful in this show. And they do these really weird lingering shots that feel like a mistake. Like it feels like they go on too long, and it doesn't feel like they did that on purpose. Like there's this shot when The Weeknd's character goes to her house and we see her like front gate opening. Gate is open, and then it's just a shot of him standing there.
When we say lingering, do we mean like Family Guy, Peter trips and is just doing a like bit for like 3 minutes?
Not quite that long, but yes, to that same effect, where it's just too long.
Right.
It's you could have cut it and had the exact same information given. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Huh?
Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the end of the episode is her being like, "Oh, do you want to hear my new song? Like it's not out yet." And him being like, "Yeah, sure." So she plays him the song in her like home studio. And then it just turns into something else where he like puts like a thin cloth over her face and starts choking her, and then like cuts a hole in the cloth where her mouth would be, and then he's like, "Okay, now you can sing." And I'm like, what is going on?
Like,
and I don't know if it's supposed to be dangerous or sexy or creepy, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
it doesn't give you what the tone's supposed to be.
I have no clue what it's supposed to communicate, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, what the fuck did I just watch? It's really bizarre.
You know what is worth your time? The Bear.
Oh, that's the on Hulu, right?
Mm-hmm.
I heard that was good.
So, if you want to have a 18 episode, both seasons, 8 and 10 episodes, an 18 season long episode long heart attack, you should watch The Bear because it's incredible, and also the most stressful thing you'll ever do in your life.
Oh my god.
Because it is just, hey, you know how everyone talks about how being a chef is like the worst thing on the planet?
Right.
We're gonna show you why it is and make you feel every emotion about why it is.
Right.
But it's so good. Like it is incredible. The first season is just the main character is like a very accomplished chef, and comes back home after his brother passes and basically takes over his brother's shitty failing restaurant to try to make it work.
Right.
And throughout the season, it's just like bad thing upon bad thing upon bad thing upon bad thing keeps happening, without spoiling anything.
Right.
And it's just like you get to certain points where like if this dude just blew his brains out, I would get it. Like, yeah, dude, fair. If I was in that position, I'd want out too. Like, You know, like it's done in a way though where it's not like it doesn't feel like torture. It just feels real. You know?
Yeah.
And everyone in the show is really interesting. All the actors are great. Like their different personalities and roles in the show are really interesting and like well put together. And you really hate people that like are just kind of shitty.
Right.
And like you can hate and yet still see some value in others. And then like everything that was good about season 1, season 2 just fucking like cranks it.
Oh, they
and
just ramp it up.
Like and for like and there's like a slight little part of like ease for a little bit, and you're like, this is gonna go wrong somehow. But like people, it just like I don't know, its writing gets even tighter, and it was already like immaculate. The cinematography gets insane. There's one episode that is just one shot, and it is following the point of view of different people as they are trying to make the restaurant work. Insane.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask: is it still going on, or it's just 2 seasons?
The season's released in batches, or I mean, in like season 2 came out like last week. It's all done. Like, it's just all season 2.
I'm saying.
Oh yeah, there's gonna
is
be
there
more.
a season 3
There's
or the
going
story
to
is
be
done?
a season 3.
Okay, that was my question.
The season 2 like literally just came out last week.
Oh, okay,
I've already watched it.
gotcha.
I watched it in 2 days.
You know, if you like that kind of story, you know what else you would really like that I keep telling you to watch? Breaking Bad.
I know. Everybody's been telling me to watch Breaking Bad. And I don't want to hear it from you, who also took 30 years to get to it.
Look, I have a good reason for not watching Breaking Bad though.
Mm-hmm.
So
Was it as good as a reason as why you didn't watch Game of Thrones?
Well, Game of Thrones, I just couldn't get into it the first couple of times I tried, so that's not my fault. Now is it? Anyway, in college, I had a roommate who was obsessed with Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Obsessed. She had Breaking Bad playing on Netflix in her room on loop.
Yeah, you've mentioned this.
For like a year straight. And I was like, I never like sat down and watched any of it, but I was just like, if I even hear somebody mention Breaking Bad, I'm gonna lose my shit.
I've been meaning to watch Breaking Bad forever. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah,
But
I think it's something you would actually really enjoy.
I keep planning on it.
Yeah.
But also, The Bear was only eight episodes when I was like, all right. And
Let
then,
me get into
yeah,
it,
and
yeah.
then season 2 came out and it was 10. And I just binged it.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, 8 episodes. It's first season 1 is only 8 episodes of Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Well, but so Anthony was also watching The Bear, season 2, and I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, did you get to like episode 6 yet?" And he's like, and it was already like 2 days. Like it was already the second day it had come out. And he was like, "No, I can't binge this show. Are you out of your mind?" He was like, I need like multiple days between each episode.
Recovery.
And I was like, yeah, see, I went with the mentality of heart palpitations for a week or a heart attack for 2 days. And I was like, I'll take the heart attack for 2 days.
The lesser of two evils.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, like, it looks incredible. Everyone acts fantastically, and it's written so well. And, like, you see why everyone makes the fucked up choices they do, and then even still you're like, but you can do better. I know you can. And it's like, but, like, it's just, like, all the stress and all the shit, and you're like, I understand why you made this, even though it totally, like, you shouldn't have kind of stuff, you know?
Right. I
don't know. It's so good.
So a show like The Bear and Breaking Bad, that's what they call. What do they call that? Like prestige television, or what do you call that kind of like more? Elevate is the wrong word, but
well, because like The Bear is not like, it's nowhere near like budgeted like Game of Thrones or
right.
Whatever. Like it is a much smaller show.
I'm not talking in terms of budget, but I'm talking in terms of quality, right?
Gotcha.
Or even like studios like AMC, HBO, those kind of like Showtime, those like paid.
Right.
subscription based television
Right.
networks.
Yeah. Because this is on Hulu.
Right. Are they airing it on FX? Okay. Just
Well,
strictly.
not that I know of.
Okay. But those kind of that kind of television programming, what is that usually considered?
I guess Prestige.
Okay, so you have something like that where this is in that wheelhouse because these are the people making it, or this is the network it's on, right? But I always wonder this in that like you have shows like Breaking Bad. Sorry, it's just the most forefront of my mind. Breaking Bad, where they didn't have a crazy huge budget, but they just had a really good story and really like knock you out the park actors, right? Like, and beautiful cinematography. But then you have shows like The Idol where you have the budget, you have actors, quote unquote.
Does Depp not do a good job?
I mean, I'm pretty sure her script looked a lot like, here's the scene, and then here's your lines, and how you will deliver it is as if you are a cardboard box.
Okay.
I am convinced.
Like, does anyone act well?
I think it's all like fine.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm not able to discern if it's truly awful.
Right.
It doesn't feel great. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems kind of mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be worse, but it's not spectacular in my opinion. Especially The Weeknd is actually bad.
Right.
I feel bad saying it because I really enjoy his music. But the acting is... Stick to music. Stick to music.
Well, it's like Taylor Swift in Amsterdam.
Yeah, like...
Boy, can she not act.
I would be fine even if he just produced it, right? And did not put himself in the show. Because there are influences in the show that I can see that this is him.
Right.
Making these kinds of decisions in terms of, you know, the soundtrack that they're using, the visuals that they use are obvious references to his own work.
Right.
Right? Which I get, and I understand why you would want to do that in a show you're producing. But him acting in it is really bad. I feel so bad saying this. Like, it's just not good. I also think it's very funny. Blackpink stans do not come from me, but every single K-pop stan is like going off being like, wow, Jennie is such an incredible actress. I cannot believe, like, wow, she slayed her debut. I'm like, the girl had 5 fucking lines in the whole hour-long episode. What is she slaying? Like, I don't understand. I'm sorry.
She spoke English well.
She's a fluent English speaker. She grew up in New Zealand. Like...
But, like, she spoke English well.
Yeah.
She slayed.
Like, the only one in Blackpink who can't speak English that well is Jisoo. And that's because she was born and raised in Korea.
She spoke English well.
Like, I just don't get it. But,
Wait, so is her English with a New Zealand accent?
Mm-hmm. She has an accent.
Huh. All right. I'm just imagining those, those videos where it's like, your Australian Spanish teacher. Yeah, Australian Spanish teacher. So it's like Spanish with an Australian accent for no reason.
Yes.
Or Russian with an Australian accent. So I'm just like...
But yeah, so you have a show like this where you have the budget, you have so-so actors. I don't think the show looks terrible. I think they do some interesting shots. I like some of the lighting choices.
If you're going to say why does one happen and the other doesn't, I think it's a matter of people giving a shit.
But people were hyping this up.
Right, but it's not about the people being hype about it. It's the people like people hype the shit out of The Witcher. The Witcher's been dog shit since season 2. And arguably some people think season 1. I like season 1. I think it's good.
Right.
But some people don't agree.
Did you watch that? What was it, like the prequel series or like offshoot series they did?
The anime one?
No. They had a live action one.
Oh, you know.
I don't remember what it was called, but that was
awful.
Garbage.
Everyone was like, this is the worst shit ever. Why would I even bother?
It was really bad.
And the anime one is good.
And I didn't watch the anime one, but
That
this
one's good.
offshoot one, because I have basically zero interest in The Witcher. I was like, Henry Cavill, yummy, and then he left the show, and I was like, all right, bye.
My favorite part too is that during.
Wait, did he leave the show, or
Yes.
they were like, no, fuck you?
No, he left the show.
Okay.
My favorite part about recent press tours for this season is that anytime people ask him about filming and creating this season, he deflects by saying, "I've really loved working with my fellow actors. They've been incredible." He doesn't answer it for him.
Of
he
course not.
He only says that his fellow co-stars have been great.
Right.
He loves them. He thinks they're incredible, and he's happy that they're gonna keep doing and trying their
But
best.
honestly, I
and then
feel
he
like-
throws it in little slights where he's like, "You guys have been doing really well with the material you've had, even when the material is fighting you, and I think that's great." It's like, yeah.
Honestly, I think that's the nicest way he could do it.
Yeah. It's so funny because the marketing for this shit, they're like, oh, there's gonna be it's gonna be like a little meta about how the Witcher's appearance changes between Cavill to Hemsworth. And everybody in these comments that they're putting, like these tweets and stuff that they're putting out, is ever like, who gives a shit? We're not gonna watch it. Like, we're gonna watch season 3 for Cavill,
Right.
and then we're all gone. And we're all probably going to shit on season 3 too, because if it's anything like season 2, it's going to be fucking awful.
Right.
Like, the only good thing about The Witcher after Henry leaves is going to be Yennefer, because I think, well, at least for me, I think Yennefer's actor is very hot. Not enough for me to watch the show,
Right.
especially when it's going to be fucking Liam Hemsworth. I don't give a fuck about Liam Hemsworth.
I feel bad.
He's
for
such a
Liam.
weird choice for that role too.
I feel bad for Liam Hemsworth. I feel like he never made it, if that makes sense. Like, he was in the Hunger Games, but nobody cared about him because he was Gale. You know what I mean? Like, he was such an ancillary role, even though Gale is important, but not really.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he it was either right at that same time or a little bit before, he was in that movie with Miley Cyrus, I think, like, called Last Song or something.
Is that where they met?
Yes, that is where they met. That's when they started dating. And then he was weirdly in the foreground of the background of Hollywood for a long time, and he was mainly just attached to Miley Cyrus as being her longtime boyfriend / fiance / husband / ex, right? In that order.
Yeah, right. Actually, it was X first, then everything else. They hadn't even dated, and he was already an ex.
Honestly. But I feel like I never hear buzz about him in movies or television shows or anything, except until Henry Cavill left The Witcher, and then they're replacing him now with Liam Hemsworth, which, you're right, is a weird choice.
Such a weird pick.
Because if you put Henry Cavill and Liam Hemsworth up against each other, visually, there's no similarities.
Oh, can I bring up something real quick?
Yes, by all means.
Okay. First of all, just to finish that point a little bit, The Witcher season 3 is gonna be dog shit. Everybody should know this. You should only You shouldn't really watch it. You shouldn't support them, but support Henry Cavill. I understand. I'm probably also gonna watch it just for Henry Cavill. But we probably also should acknowledge that it's not the best move, because all the writers are awful and going to be doing dog shit with the material. And I don't even give a shit about The Witcher. I've never even read a book or played the game. Well, I played like an hour of Witcher 3. But regardless. So did you see that the new Superman has been cast?
No.
Oh, so Superman and Lois have been cast. I don't know if you want to look them up to get a
Let
picture
me
of
look
them.
him up. Because
So have you
wait,
seen
but
Miss
didn't-
Maisel, Marvelous Miss Maisel or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the main character, the main girl from that is Lois.
Really?
I believe so. I've never seen that show.
Uh,
The guy hasn't really been in anything. Did you see
Oh.
Pearl?
Pearl?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, then I don't know. When you see what he's been in, maybe you'll know him from something. But
David
yeah, whatever.
Coren Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, somebody made a joke the yesterday, I guess, when they announced it, that they were like, James Gunn was able to sneak an American into the casting by him having the most British name ever.
LOL. I mean, I feel like
But you see what he looks like aesthetically. I think he's great.
I think aesthetically he looks like he could fill the role of Superman just
Yeah.
based off visuals.
But so it's funny while you're looking up that and the person that got cast. As
Yeah,
Lois.
Rachel Brosnahan.
Yeah, very
Who-
attractive woman.
Yeah, she is the lead
Okay, she
in
is the
Marvelous
lead?
Miss Maisel. Yeah.
I've seen people saying she's a fantastic choice. So
She's a really good. She's a very good actress.
yeah,
she
so-
does comedy really well.
I've seen that she was a great choice, and he's a little bit more of an unknown in terms of stuff. All I knew him from, and I only know him because I looked him up, and then was
Right.
like, oh, he's in the Pearl.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch that.
Or not? He's in Pearl. There's no the. Pearl is remember the movie X, the horror movie.
Oh yes.
Pearl is the prequel.
Yes, I know what
he's
you're
in
talking.
that.
Okay.
He's like the projectionist, which is like a semi-major role in the movie.
Okay, good for him.
Semi kind of, but he was good in that.
Okay.
But that's all I know him from. And
Gotcha.
again, I only knew that after I looked him up and was like, "What's this dude been in?" Like I
Right.
didn't see him and be like, "That's the dude in Pearl."
Right.
But so a lot of people have been like, "These two people, great choices." Like that dude looks like Superman, awesome. But then there's been other people that have been like side by sides with Henry Cavill, and they're like, that he just looks like Henry Cavill. And everybody, there have been so many tweets that I've been seeing from people that are saying that, where they're like, imagine people that have played Superman looking almost similar because Superman looks a certain way, and
Oh
you
my
find
God!
people
What
to
a
look that way.
What a concept!
Like, oh my God, this person looks this way. We need to find someone that looks like that. Wild that all these people look kind of similar. All have kind of strong jawlines, are brown to black hair, blue-eyed, and have some scruff. Wild that they all look kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like what do you mean? How is that an issue? Like almost all of the Supermen kind of look similar.
It's like being like, wow, every Spider-Man actor has brown hair.
Yeah, it's like it's so weird. Like because again, especially with Superman, it's like he should have a strong jawline, which usually kind of makes everyone with strong jawlines kind of have a similar structure.
Right.
So like obviously they're going to look similar.
Because you know what is funny though is I feel like with Superman you kind of have to play it as straight as possible in terms of visuals.
Yeah, and you
'Cause
need
Superman-
the hair to be kind of coiffed and
Exactly.
so you can
It's
shape
just
it.
The look of Superman is so iconic at this point that if you casted a guy who was wafy and blonde, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People would be extremely confused. It was like actually when they first announced that Gal Gadot was going to be Wonder Woman, people were being like, how is she going to be Wonder Woman? Because she is a very slim and thin-framed woman.
Right.
And Wonder Woman is a fucking beefed up Amazon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And people were actually complaining about this when she was first announced, you know, in 2013 or 2012, I want to guess, when they
Right.
first made that announcement for the casting. Because prior to this, she had been in
I was gonna say, was she in stuff? I never knew her.
prior to
beforehand.
that, she was in some of the Fast and Furious movies. And then I think she had like much smaller roles before this. Like Wonder Woman, I think was her like first major lead role.
Gotcha. I think she was a pretty good Wonder Woman.
I like her too as Wonder
I think
Woman.
there could have been better Wonder Woman, but I think she's a good Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
Now, I couldn't also name anyone that I think could be a better Wonder Woman. I'm just saying, in terms of like my mental image of Wonder Woman,
right.
she's not like I could put her face over that and be like, yep, that's what Wonder Woman looks like.
Right.
But I think she's a good Wonder Woman.
I think, especially in the first movie, you know, with the tan and the hair, and obviously she built up her frame a little bit.
Well, the first movie's great.
Yeah.
Except for the ending, which ruins the movie for me.
Right.
But that's a separate thing.
But I think she does a good job, especially with she is a naturally thinner woman.
Yeah.
She's very tall. She's got long, lanky limbs. Like you can only build her up so much.
All I need
But
from
I think she
whoever
did
they
a
cast
good job.
as Wonder Woman next is I need them to be able to suplex people.
That's your only requirement.
My only requirement for the next Wonder Woman, I would argue we should get her an animated show instead of a live action movie.
Mm-hmm.
But my only requirement is that Wonder Woman is a Greek-based person,
Mm-hmm.
And she should use wrestling moves on people like they do in the cartoons, because it makes sense that her fighting style should have some fucking suplexes in it. She fights like at least a baseline wrestler, like old wrestling, not WWE.
Right.
Traditional wrestling. But she should be fucking picking people up and suplexing them, and that's all I need out of whoever you cast. As long as they can do that.
I want whoever they cast next to have like.
I also kind of want like big hair. Like the Wonder Woman usually has like big hair.
I guess she has a lot
hair.
of like volume.
Yeah.
But I feel like she had not flat hair.
No,
her hair wasn't flat.
No, but like I mean,
it was big.
I'm joking that she needs that, but I feel like usually when people imagined Wonder Woman, she does kind of have
imagine
big,
her with very full hair. Yeah,
very big hair.
Yeah, but whoever they cast next, I want them to have like Michelle Rodriguez's frame. I want her to be that buff.
Okay. Well, I'm sure Rodriguez is still pretty slim though.
But
she's buff, but she's slim.
She's slim, but she's pretty built.
I'm thinking more like a WWE female wrestler kind of build.
Yeah, that would be good too.
Like,
but I'm
Ronda Rousey-esque.
But the reason why I say Michelle Rodriguez, not Ronda Rousey, is because compared to other females in Hollywood, people would think that Michelle Rodriguez, she is more...
Isn't it Rodriguez?
Rodriguez? Oh, I'm sorry. Am I saying it wrong?
I'm pretty sure it's Rodriguez.
I feel like you're probably right, and for some reason in my brain it's Rodrigo.
Keep talking. I'll look it
anyway, yeah, look it up for me. I feel like people think she has a...
It is Rodriguez.
Oh, I am so sorry. Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez is fucking ripped, though.
Yes.
Very hot.
But yeah, I feel like people think she has a bigger frame because she has muscles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She was a good barbarian in the D&D movie.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
I love that she's like really into nerdy shit.
Well, I also like the fact that she she refuses to be cast in a role that doesn't make her look badass.
Yeah. Why would she?
But like in a more humble way than The Rock.
Yeah.
Where like The Rock has in his contract that he can't lose a fight.
If I was
she's more humble about
it. If I was her and I had those muscles and whatever kind of training she's done over the years, yeah, I would want to be cast as the badass all the time too.
Yeah,
come on.
But so anyway, my thinking is that I think Wonder Woman should be more of a more like a WWE wrestler or just a wrestler kind of build in more of a I don't want to say husky because that's not the right word, but like
you want a
bigger frame.
Yeah, you want like the big shoulders.
Yeah.
And very built.
But again,
and
I
toned
think
muscles.
Gal Gadot. It was a good choice for Wonder Woman. I think that like you see her and I'm like, sure, yeah.
For me, Gal Gadot really takes off because when you think of Wonder Woman, you do inherently think goddess.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Strong, powerful.
Gal Gadot definitely fits the supermodel-esque,
exactly.
picturesque woman.
And when you're trying to cast a woman to be an Amazon, that seems like a pretty good fit. She's almost 6 feet tall to begin with.
The people that were that had the hammers that were breaking the walls during the Justice League movie, the Amazons, with fucking ripped.
Yeah.
I want one of those people.
Yeah.
I need someone like that who can crush me between their thighs.
Yeah.
To be Wonder Woman.
While
suplexing me.
So one of my favorite casting choices in the Wonder Woman movies, there's Doutzen Coors, who's an actual model, but she is known to just be fucking shredded.
Right.
This woman has been rocking an 8-pack for 20 fucking years.
Good for her.
You know what I mean? She's just incredibly cut. And I remember I saw the movie in theaters and I'm watching it and it's I think it's that flash forward scene where Diana's grown up now and she's training or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're talking and the camera pans and I went, is that Doutzen Coors? It was so because I didn't know she was in the movie at all, and I was like, I think it is. And then after the movie, I looked it up, and I was like, it sure is her. But it's such a perfect fit because she's 6 feet tall and built.
Yeah,
it's great.
Now I'm trying to think of I've seen some people also say that they should just have Robert Pattinson's Batman be the Batman for the DCU because people are going to be confused that there's two Batman IPs. I understand that it's a general audience thing. General audiences might not think about it, but also it's really not that hard to be like, there are just two separate Batmen.
Right.
I feel like it's not hard to get that concept across. You know?
Yeah.
Like that people are like, plus I don't feel like I want Robert Pattinson's Batman in the DCU. I feel like he works better as a separate.
That's what I was just going to say. I feel like I can't see Robert Pattinson's Batman as a team player in the Justice League kind of a thing.
Yeah, even if he could, like maybe the sequel will make it feel that way more so. But like, I just feel like we could have a Batman that's detached. I want a detective Batman. That's just on
like
his
his isolation and grit kind of going on, and I feel like probably where the DCU.
No, it's just you now.
Just you.
It's just gonna be you.
Sorry, DCU is headed. Is not gonna be that vibe.
No.
And I feel like forcing that character into this entirely separate and different kind of style is not going to mesh well.
You know who Jensen Ackles is, right?
The name is like really familiar.
The dude who plays Dean in Supernatural.
Oh, yeah. I saw him in a show recently and I got surprised.
The Boys, I assume?
No, not that.
I think we
that.
talked
Something
about
else.
This. Anyway, a lot of people have been saying he should be Batman.
Okay.
And
I can't really see it.
I was going to say, I do think he has the look for being Bruce.
I could see him maybe as Bruce, but I don't know. Something about his face gives me too much like...
Because he's voiced Batman in some animated stuff.
Jensen Ackles, is he the one with the long hair or the short hair? Okay, so I'm thinking of the right person. His face, I just can't see being Batman. Does that make sense? Like... I see him too much, like too soft.
Too soft.
I don't know if that makes sense because it's more of a vibe than.
Like I wouldn't say that he has a soft look to his face.
Like I don't. I guess just because I only know him from very certain things, that he doesn't seem like he could be Batman.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that point.
Wait, is that the same person?
Yes,
I don't even know who that
is. That is Jensen.
Wait, he's the one with the long hair.
In this show specifically.
No. Didn't he have long hair in whatchamacallits?
In Supernatural? No. He was always the short-haired one.
Okay, so which one's the one with the long hair?
That was usually what he looked like.
Yeah, soft.
I disagree with that statement.
His face just reads to me as like charming and boyish and handsome.
I don't know. I kind of disagree
like
with that
in
statement.
The photos you showed me afterwards, yeah.
I don't feel like that's soft features.
No, I don't think his face has soft features. It's just the vibe I get from him.
Anyway, whatever this point is.
I just can't see him as Batman.
And I was going to say, I think I could. I don't think he's the right choice.
Right.
As much as I think that he could be a good Batman, he's actually the voice I have for Jason Todd. Because
I could see him as a Jason.
He voiced Jason in the Under the Red Hood movie. So he's the voice I've had for Jason since that movie. But he's too old to be Jason.
That's definitely true. Because what's Jason's like typical age range? Maximum
really depends around, but generally because the weirdness of how they frame Batman's thing, it's like Dick is usually like mid 20s. Jason's like mid to early 20s. Tim
That's
is
what
like
I thought, yeah.
early 20 to very late teen, but usually probably a bit older. And then Damien's like 14 to 15.
I was going to say like 14, 15.
Yeah. At least currently.
Right.
So, but you know, it's like such a weird ass sliding scale. Sometimes
because
you
Jason,
could argue,
you would think like maximum 25.
Yeah, like sometimes you could argue Dick is like nearing 30, and so Jason's somewhere like to 27 to something.
Right,
you know,
like a couple years behind, kind of a thing.
So it's kind of a sliding scale, but I now obviously older actors have played fucking high schoolers,
of course,
and I think he could be I think he could be a great Jason in terms of like how he looks. But I also just like, as much as I'd be like, that'd be fun, I don't think it would work for the universe to be him for a while.
Right.
Like I would watch a one-off movie of him being Jason or Batman, right? But like I wouldn't watch, like I don't think he'd work for extended periods of a period of time. But I mean, I don't know. I do like him, and I think he could be a good choice. I just don't think it's the vibe that I would necessarily go for.
Right.
But I totally understand why people think he'd be great for it. And I know he wants it. He loves Batman. Batman's his like favorite superhero of all time.
Oh, that's cute.
But who knows? I mean,
Yeah.
I could see it, and if by some chance he was even in the running and got picked, I wouldn't be upset about it. I could totally see why it would make sense.
Is there somebody that like you think would fit the role, or you?
I don't really even have anyone in mind.
Right.
Some fan casts that I have been seeing, I don't. No fan cast I've seen has been anything that I'd be like, I see that. Jensen's the closest. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, especially because like if the way that they're doing it is that Damian exists, which means everybody else already exists. Like I wouldn't know who to cast as Nightwing or Jason or like, because they have to figure out where time wise they're gonna put them. Like are Dick and Jason already gonna be 20s? Is Tim gonna be 20s or late teens? And where is Damian? Because if it's the story where Damian shows up, he's like 12,
right.
11,
Right.
maybe even younger. I don't remember exactly how old he is when he shows up. He's young.
He's like pre-teenage, like tween kind of age.
Or like, yeah, I don't think he's 8. I want to say he's older than that.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's probably 11 or maybe. I feel like the youngest 10 years old.
Yeah, it's somewhere. I don't remember exactly. The whole point is that he's absurdly young.
Right.
And yet still as skilled as he is. And a dick. Which is why I'm also slightly not looking forward to that first movie, because I'm like, people are going to fucking hate this kid. But, I mean, they're going to write it in a way that he'd probably be likable by the end.
Right.
Which is good. We don't have to deal with the fucking absurd back and forth of.
But
Damian's a dick. Damian's not a dick. Damian's a dick.
If they're having Nightwing,
We don't know that.
oh, okay.
We just are. People are assuming if you're gonna start the universe with Damian as a Robin, the other ones have already happened.
I understand. Okay.
So people are just assuming.
I thought when you said it, I thought you were saying like this was already slated.
No.
So I was like, if you're gonna have
They're
Nightwing,
extrapolating.
wouldn't you have to have kind of a set?
Yeah, no, they're extrapolating that if you're starting with Damian, everybody else has already happened,
Gotcha.
and so thus they already exist.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, that makes more sense then.
That's what we're thinking. But it makes sense because then you could just say they already exist. You don't have to spend 30 years getting between each fucking Robin.
Right.
They can just exist as their end goal.
Right.
And that's fine with me. If I get to see fucking Red Hood in a movie, I can be happy. I really hope the kid that is playing Jason in the Titans show really wants to be cast as Jason again in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, for the love of God, please no.
Oh, you don't like him?
I think he's fine for the universe that show is.
Okay. Not confident.
But I don't like Titans really in general.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think I think he's fine. Not what I want Jason to be, though.
I understand.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
the way that is set up works for that universe, even if I'm not necessarily the biggest fan. I
But
just don't want Jason to be that. And also, he looks too young.
If they cast this guy who's Jason in Titans as Jason in this DCU, are they going to be combining that?
No, that's why I'm also like, it probably won't happen.
Right, because
Like, I'm like, sorry, kid, but I am rooting for your failure.
Because I feel like, would they feel like they need to combine those two?
Yeah, I feel like
or
that
just
what
be
their
like
plan would be
hardline
just not
no.
even touching it.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's, while yes, like it's opening a can of worms.
Yeah, and it's funny because he showed up to the Flash premiere and everyone was like, this kid's trying to get his bag. He's really going to walk up to James Gunn at some point and be like, hey, you need a Red Hood?
That's
but,
funny.
Yeah, like I respect it.
I hope that conversation happened.
Yeah, I respect it, but
Respect
I don't
the
want it
hustle.
to happen.
Yeah.
I appreciate and respect the hustle. I also adequately hope you fail. But so yeah, I don't know. It's another thing that I've also kind of noticed is that for whatever reason, blonde characters, unless they are female, at least for comic characters, usually are never cast with people that are blonde. Like Barry Allen, blonde character.
True.
Never been cast with a blonde actor.
I never even thought about it.
It's a weird thing that blonde characters are usually never cast.
They
with
get
blonde
relegated
actors.
to brunettes.
Yeah, except for women, which usually will end up having
blonde, or they'll
women.
just
Or they'll
bleach
dye
their
the- yeah,
hair.
they'll dye their hair.
You know, it's so funny though. So the flip of that, Hunger Games,
Right.
Jennifer Lawrence, natural blonde, and they dyed her hair brown to be Katniss Everdeen. And then Josh Hutcherson is a natural brunette, and they dyed his hair blonde.
Yeah,
Which I thought was very funny.
And it's like, but they don't even usually dye the characters' hairs.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like,
I never even thought about that. You're so right though, especially with the example of Barry.
yeah, there were other examples I had in my head before they disappeared, but like, it's just a weird thing that I noticed where I'm like,
Aquaman is
Aquaman,
not blonde.
Yeah.
In the live
Yeah.
action, he's got like I guess if you wanted to say a very dirty blonde, but that doesn't count.
Yeah.
He's brunette. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's like it's a weird thing that blonde characters usually never
Stay
are,
blonde.
Yeah, never are never blonde. So let's see. Captain America is
Selena
blonder
Kyle supposed to be
sometimes than he
blonde?
is. No, Selena Kyle's black haired.
Okay.
Captain America is not really as blonde as he usually is. Chris Evans' hair is like.
I mean, they had.
I feel like it carries a spectrum. Sometimes it's blonde.
I
Sometimes
was
it's more
gonna
brown.
say because in Winter Soldier, I feel like he's pretty blonde.
Yeah, but
in Captain America and the first Avengers movie, he's a more dirty blonde.
and then I would say like in Endgame and Infinity War, he's
By the time-
more
By the
brown
time we get
brunette.
to like Infinity War and Endgame, he's basically brunette.
Yeah,
Like he has little highlights, but he's definitely not blonde
yeah.
at the end of those things.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird. It's like an odd thing where they don't cast blonde people.
You know, next time I'm watching something where I know the character's supposed to be blonde, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that because it's something I never thought about.
I always kind of think about it. And I'm like, all right, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see where it all goes and how. And I don't have much faith in the Blue Beetle movie, as much as I want it to be good. The trailers seem like it's gonna be kind of eh.
Are
But
people even excited for Blue Beetle?
people love Blue Beetle.
Really?
I mean, he's a Hispanic American.
I just feel like I never hear anybody talking about Blue Beetle, but I also never engage with DC content, so that could be why.
Blue Beetle. People like Jaime Reyes, and the way that James Gunn phrased the movie is that like Blue Beetle's the first character.
Yes, I
but,
remember you
but
telling me
Superman
this.
is
It's
the
starting,
first movie.
which makes literally no fucking sense, but sure.
So I basically I guess that means like
Are they trying
he wants to keep the actor and
Are
but not.
they trying to pull like an Iron Man and then the 2008 Incredible Hulk? Because that Hulk movie is not part of the MCU.
Technically, it is.
I thought technically it wasn't.
No, technically it is
Oh, because that's pre.
because Ross is still the same.
Oh, you're right. But it's not.
They just kind of retcon some of the
it's
stuff.
not
And
Mark
also,
Ruffalo.
Yeah. And also, Abomination shows up again, the same actor.
Oh, you're right.
So
I always because it's so
it's like some of the things
so
exist.
2008 Incredible Hulk, and it's ugh.
But I don't know. It's I don't know exactly what they're going with that, but the Superman movie is really gonna be like the starting line.
Right.
You know, like that's gonna determine how people are gonna be excited or not excited about the DCU, which is a lot of stress.
But I feel like the if you're gonna, I guess the one saving grace for them is Superman is a fucking global icon
Oh, like it'll make money regardless.
because how many goddamn Superman movies have we had? You know what I mean?
lot.
Like, there's so much Superman properties out there, and people will still go and spend their money on it because it's Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm very
The
excited for that
name
show.
recognition is really strong
Yeah.
for Superman. So I think no matter what they do, unless it's actual shit, they'll make the money from it because the casual viewers will go see it because
Yeah.
it's Superman. And if they really fuck up, then I feel like probably just the people who are interested in comics and DC and things like that will be upset.
Right.
But like the general public will probably be able to offset that.
But it's a lot of pressure for them.
Oh, yes, I'm sure.
It's
If
because
they're-
unlike Iron Man, nobody knew that was starting something.
Right.
Where
right.
the
Iron
Superman,
Man-
we know it's starting something.
Iron Man came out and everyone was like, "Oh, cool. You're doing a hero that's like
Nobody gave a shit.
less
about.
popular."
Literally no
and
one
then
cared
they
about
did
Iron
Captain
Man.
America,
Yeah.
and then they did Thor, and then once you got to the Avengers, that first Avengers really, I think, took the world by storm.
Yeah.
Because
Even though it's not even that great.
but the concept
Yeah.
of the build-up, I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody, I can't remember who it was,
But
but
yeah,
somebody
it's-
explained the MCU was like the most expensive, longest television show.
Yeah. It's insane what they pulled off. But like I don't know. The difference is nobody knew where Iron Man was going.
Right.
People know what DC is going to
They
that's
know
what
the
Superman
plan.
is starting.
Right.
So like
They don't have that
there's a
element
lot of
of
there's a lot of
surprise.
pressure going on for that. And
Right.
I really, really, really want it to be good because I would love to see. Like, I don't even really like Marvel comics. I read very few Marvel comics. I am much more of a DC fan. And I would like to have a good DC movie. Because haven't gotten a lot of those. So,
Rip.
yeah. The Flash sucks.
Rip. So
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think it was going to be good.
Right.
I only went because it was free.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because fuck Ezra Miller.
Mess.
And they better
It's
not
because he
touch
wasn't
him
blonde.
again. Yeah. Hell, cast Wally West as make the next Flash movie a Wally West movie, for the love of God.
I feel like they're not going to do that.
Barry Allen's so boring. Make
They-
it Wally West.
They're not going to do that.
It's
I'm sorry.
just nobody gives a shit about Barry Allen. I mean, people do, but Wally West is much more interesting as of a character. Anyway,
Anywho.
thanks for watching this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. You have 4 weeks to watch the second season of ReZero. That's what it was.
Yes.
So, did you like the first season? I don't even remember.
I think I said it was fine.
I don't know how much your opinion will change or not change on that.
I'm pretty sure I was just like, yeah, that was a show I watch. I can't remember what I said, but I don't think I was like super hyped over it.
Right.
Thought it was fine.
Well, we'll find out what you think of the second season.
Yeah,
I guess.
let's see if my opinions change.
Yeah. So 4 weeks to watch that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, follow, and check out Kat at Kat the Moonstar on Twitch. And we will see you guys next week for whatever the hell we talk about.
Bye.
Bye.